The movie begins inside an examination hall where students are taking their French exams. Among them is a young boy named Bobby, who seems nervous as he struggles with the paper. When the exam ends, he's one of the last students to submit his work. Unfortunately, his exam doesn't go well, and he walks out feeling upset and disappointed. Seeing Bobby down, his best friend Billy tries to cheer him up. He tells Bobby that it's useless to stress about the exam now since the summer holidays are about to begin. Billy reminds him that it's time to relax and have fun instead. Just then, a girl named Bonnie walks by. She's Bobby's crush, but sadly, she doesn't feel the same way about him. As they talk briefly, Bonnie's boyfriend shows up, and she leaves with him, leaving Bobby a little disheartened. That night, Bobby hangs out with his friends and has some fun to forget about everything. Later, he returns home, only to be called by his father. Bobby's dad is a strict and wealthy man who expects the best from his son. When Bobby goes to meet him, his father tells him that he received a call from Bobby's French teacher, and that Bobby has failed the subject. Hearing this makes Bobby even more upset. His father then says that during the summer break, he'll have to study French and make up for his failure. To ensure that, he has already hired a private French tutor who will start lessons the next day. Bobby becomes frustrated because all his vacation plans are now ruined. Instead of relaxing, he'll have to spend the summer studying. The next day, his French tutor arrives, a young and beautiful woman named Terry. She introduces herself to Bobby and tells him that she'll be living there and teaching him French throughout the summer. Later, she meets Bobby's father, who sets the terms clearly. He says that if Bobby scores at least 85% in French after her tutoring, he'll give her a $10,000 bonus. Terry agrees to the deal and begins tutoring Bobby the next day. However, Bobby shows no real interest in studying and keeps getting distracted. That night, he goes out again with his friends, and Billy even sets him up to meet a bartender in hopes of cheering him up. After that night out, the bartender starts making out with Bobby inside a car. But suddenly, her boyfriend, a violent thug, shows up. Bobby quickly hides under the car to avoid being caught. When Billy arrives, the thug mistakes him for Bobby and grabs him. Luckily, the bartender steps in and says that Billy isn't the guy she was with, saving him from trouble. Later, Bobby goes out again with his friends, and when he finally returns home, he's surprised to see Terry swimming in the pool, without any clothes. Shocked and curious, Bobby secretly watches her. After swimming, Terry goes back to her room to change, unaware that Bobby is quietly spying on her from a distance. The next day, Terry continues Bobby's French lessons. During the class, Bobby can't stop thinking about what he saw at the pool. He finds himself distracted and starts imagining Terry while she's teaching. Because of that, he slowly begins to feel drawn to her. Bobby then admits to Terry that he isn't interested in learning French at all. His real passion is astronomy. Hearing this, Terry tells him that whether he likes it or not, he'll still need to pass his French exam if he wants to get into college. After that, Bobby finally starts to take his studies more seriously and begins making progress. A few days later, Terry gives him a small test, and Bobby does surprisingly well. Pleased with his improvement, she decides to take him out for lunch as a reward. But during their lunch, Terry's ex-boyfriend suddenly shows up and causes a scene, embarrassing her in public. Frustrated, Terry leaves the restaurant with Bobby. That night, Terry goes for another swim in the pool, and once again, Bobby secretly watches her. When she returns to her room, he quietly follows. But this time, Terry catches him. She sternly tells him that spying on someone is wrong and that he shouldn't behave like that again. The next morning, Bobby sees Terry with her ex-boyfriend and realizes that the two of them have gotten back together. Feeling jealous and angry, Bobby storms off. That night, he goes to a party with his friends to distract himself, while Terry goes to visit her boyfriend. But when Terry arrives at his place, she's shocked to find him with another woman. Heartbroken, she argues with him and leaves in tears. Later that night, when Bobby returns home, he sees Terry sitting outside, crying alone. Concerned, he goes up to her and asks what happened. Terry tells him everything, and Bobby tries to comfort her. It becomes clear that Bobby has started to fall in love with Terry, and deep down, she feels something for him too. Later that night, Terry goes for another swim, and after a while, Bobby joins her. Seeing him, Terry playfully pushes him into the water. They laugh together, get closer, and eventually share a kiss. Their chemistry grows stronger, and soon, they move into her room, where they finally become intimate. From that moment, their secret affair begins. A few days later, Bobby's birthday arrives, and a party is held at his house. During the celebration, Bobby's father approaches Terry. He compliments her looks and then makes an inappropriate move, telling her that he finds her attractive and wants to sleep with her. Shocked and disgusted, Terry immediately refuses and storms off angrily. After the party, Bobby goes to meet Terry. She tells him that whatever has been happening between them is just something casual and shouldn't be taken seriously. Trying to hide his true feelings, Bobby agrees and says that he isn't serious either. After that, he goes with her to her room, and their secret affair continues for several days. Soon, the time for Bobby's final French exam arrives. The day before the test, Bobby's father happens to see him kissing Terry and immediately realizes what's going on between them. The next day, Bobby takes his exam and performs exceptionally well. When the results come out, he scores an impressive 91%. Both Terry and Bobby are overjoyed, but deep down, Bobby feels a bit sad, because now that his exams are over, Terry will have to leave. Later that day, when they return home, Bobby's father calls him aside to talk privately. During their conversation, his father deliberately tells him that Terry was promised a $10,000 bonus for getting him to pass. Hearing this, Bobby is shocked and deeply hurt. He feels betrayed, believing that Terry's affection for him was only for money. Angry and heartbroken, Bobby confronts his father, telling him that he will no longer follow his orders. He declares that he's an adult now and capable of making his own choices, and that he plans to study astronomy, not whatever his father wants. With that, he storms out of the room. Still furious, Bobby goes to see Terry and demands an explanation. Blinded by anger, he starts accusing her and saying harsh things. Offended, Terry slaps him across the face, and Bobby leaves in a rage. After cooling down, Bobby realizes that Terry isn't at fault and that his father manipulated the situation. Later that night, he visits his old crush, Bonnie, and asks her out to a movie. They talk for a while, reconnect, and eventually share a kiss. The next morning, as Terry is packing her belongings to leave, Bobby comes to see her one last time. He apologizes sincerely for his behavior and admits his mistakes. Before parting ways, they share a final kiss, marking the end of their summer together. And Terry leaves from there. With that, the movie ends.